Hey, how's it going, beautiful people? Today's video is titled, Who Are Your Heroes? Or Who Were Your Heroes? I've been contemplating on this topic for quite some time and trying to figure out how to address those of you on this topic to see how we can make this a benefit for your future, for your current life. So while growing up, my parents were hard workers. I watched my dad get up really early and start his day and go out there and make the most of it. He was a bus driver, and then later he worked at the airport as an electrical engineer. And my mother was in the education field, and she worked her way up from the bottom, becoming eventually a teacher and then a director of a school. And so when I ask myself who were my heroes, my parents were my heroes. But also, I had other people that I looked up to. I'm an avid soccer player, and so I remember some of the famous soccer players all over the world. And when I was a kid, I always thought, man, what does it take to be like them? What makes them successful? What makes them tick? And I know that as you're watching this video, you're thinking, okay, tell us, we're waiting to hear. Well, I'll get to that part in just a second, but just pay close attention because it's very important that you ponder on that question. Who are your current heroes, or who were your current heroes? And how do they play a part in your personal success? It's not enough to want something. You have to have a bigger vision. Your dreams have to be bigger than what you think you can accomplish, right? So how do you get started? How do you do it? You know, like there's all these distractions. I've been telling you on these videos that every time you turn around, something's happening in the media, or something's happening in your family, or somebody's sick. And how do you overcome these obstacles? So please pay attention the next several minutes so we can talk about these things, and maybe you could apply some of these theories to your personal life. So let's talk about outliers, right? I read a book a while back, and it was called Outliers. And the book talked about how there's something called plot maps. And you look at the majority of people, and they're pretty much doing the same thing, basically, over and over again. They get up in the morning. They wake up about the same time. They force themselves to get in the shower. Then they get dressed. They get something to eat. Then they go to work. And they repeat this thing over and over again. And the majority of the people out there, I hate to say, is very unhappy with their lives. They basically, day in, day out, they really consume their lives trying to hopefully find something better. But they never think about what is out there to lead their goal, to make them more successful. So outlier is what stands out when you look at how you plot different things. Like if you do a graph and you do a survey, and the majority of people are doing this, like in a bunch, and then some people stand out, like on the sides. And how do they achieve that? Well, there's something called the 10,000 hour rule. It says that if you spend 10,000 hours doing something over and over again, you become really good at it. And so I believe that in my age and everything that I've accomplished, I'm a firm believer of that, right? That you have to put in the time. Things don't magically happen. And the group of people that I was mentioning earlier, they're content just being themselves, working the 8 to 5, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, repeating this over and over until one day they retired and they eventually pass on. And a lot of people pass without that light inside, that sense of accomplishment that they wish they had. So I do hope that as you're watching this video, I'm going to keep it short on purpose, that you consider who are the people that are your heroes. Who are these people? Who's motivating you to achieve the very thing that you're trying to achieve? Is it your family? Is it your parents? Is it some siblings? Do you have children? Do you have a husband? Do you have a wife? Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? You want a better life than maybe what they had, and you know that it's possible to achieve what they have achieved. And so, the thing is to get started, to start looking at, okay, so you have a goal, you have a dream, you've been wasting time on YouTube and maybe wasting time on Netflix. I'm not bashing, by the way, YouTube. I'm just saying that some of the things that you watch on YouTube will not help you with your future career. So I want you to consider, what are some of the things that you could do to improve your life. I'm driving to a place here on purpose to kind of show you where I teach and the campus that I work at, so that you have an idea of how we create dreams here. So I'm going to park, I'm going to blank out the video. This is something I haven't done before, and I'm going to go for a walk with you guys and show you some of these buildings and give you some kind of feedback from a professor, college professor / former police officer's perspective on what you can accomplish if you set your mind to it. So don't turn off that video and then keep watching, as we're going to get to the part where I basically explain what I'm doing and how this is going to benefit you, okay? So we're gonna just kind of blank out the video for a second, and then we're gonna get back on here and then kind of tell you what I'm gonna do. So pause for a second. So I'm purposely walking backwards because I want you guys to see the campus. And so give you a tour of some of the things that have been accomplished over the last years or so. Years ago, this is the campus where I attended the basic police academy. And this is where I spent 6 months of my life preparing my career to be a police officer, right? And while all my friends were doing some partying and enjoying themselves out there, not working on their dreams, I spent 6 months here on this college campus working on my dreams. And a lot has happened since I've been here. This building way over here, I've taught inside of it. They're going through somewhat of a remodel, doing some painting because of the COVID-19 shutdown. And this building ahead of us, a large building, I'll take you over there in a second, is the science building, science and engineering. And they built a building here that is the nursing building. This is where you have all the nursing students, dental assistant, medical assistant program. So this is like a miniature city. And this is kind of a treat for you guys because this is where careers are made. This is a community college campus in California. And the education is affordable, right? When I went here as a student years ago, the cost per unit was $7 per unit. So a class of 3 units, $21 to take here at this campus. And then the prices shot up to $48 a unit. And now we have something called the Promise, California Promise. So if you're a California resident and you want to attend college here, and I'll take you closer to the building so you can kind of see behind me, you can now get college education in California for free up to a 2-year degree. So basically $7,500 a year for 2 years, and that equals to $15,000. And there's a reason why I'm explaining all this to you, right? There's a reason why I'm walking by these buildings. It reminds me of when I was a young child and my parents brought me over to my mom brought me over to her campus where her students would call her Dr. this, Dr. that, right? They had a tremendous amount of respect for my mother. And so as a child, I looked at my mom and thought, oh my gosh, I wonder how I one day could become a doctor just like my mom was. And guess what? That became a reality when I completed my PhD degree some years ago. Again, focusing on this video, who are your heroes? Who are those people? Who were your heroes? Maybe they've already passed on and left a lot of your ideas. When I mentioned this before, look at what successful people have done, right? And if you want to be like them, imitate what they have done, right? So I'm going to continue kind of showing you some of the sites here on this campus. It's a beautiful, peaceful campus, right? Currently, there's no classes being held because of the COVID-19 situation. But I'll show you what an amazing place it is. This engineering / science building is an unbelievable brand new building. I want to say that it's maybe 4 or 5 years old. and students get to go on the very top up there, and there's a observatory where they can actually look at the stars at nighttime. And in here, there's a 3D presentation where they could see the whole universe in 3D version. And so this is one of the campuses that I teach at. We currently have 3 college campuses, and it's an amazing, amazing place. And so I want you, I'm giving you the experience that my mom gave me when I was at her school. I'm kind of touring you, giving you a tour of the campus that I teach at, and getting you excited about getting your education. If that's what you need to do for your future, right? If you want to be somebody's hero someday, you have to put in the time. Things don't just happen by chance. Things happen because you put some work, dedication, and effort into it, right? So this is the entrance to the Great Value Museum here. This is the other building that I've taught at. And so it's going through a renovation right now. They're painting, using a lot of this downtime to do some improvements. And so again, I want you to, as you're listening to this video, I want you to be thinking about what I started the video with, right? What are you going to do in the future, right? Who are your heroes? What are your goals? What do you want to do with your life, right? I just did a letter to my class on this COVID-19 situation. And I put on there, yes, it is affecting millions of people all over the world. Notice there's no one around here. That's why I'm not wearing my mask. But I urge you to wear a mask, obviously, if you're in public and do social distancing. But going back to my point, I wrote the letter. And on the letter, I said, even though this thing is happening with COVID-19, I am confident that eventually we will come up with a cure, right? And while this is happening, you should be working on your dreams, on your goals, on your aspirations, right? Life doesn't stop because of COVID-19. Life continues. If you're a law enforcement major, for example, you have, they're still hiring. They're still putting people through the police academy. They're still offering employment opportunities. And so it doesn't stop just because of what's happening, right? So I want you to take these ideas that I put on this video into consideration as you consider who is shaping you, who is creating you, what will you be in the next 5, 10, 15 years, right? Be careful what you're putting your effort into every day. Be careful, right? It's kind of like a working capital, working experience. You can't replace working experience. You can't ignore the fact that if you want to have good social skills, you have to get a job where you're dealing with people on a daily basis. If you want to be a good writer, you have to read a lot and write a lot in order to be good at what you do. Again, the 10,000 hour rule that I mentioned earlier in this video. And so please take these ideas that I'm telling you. Please listen to me so that your future, you thanks you for all the things you did, for all the sacrifices you made as you worked on your future, right? And so please continue to send me ideas. I'm gonna ready to wrap this video up. Reach out with any comments or concerns. I've noticed the majority of them are positive. I'm always wondering if there's haters out there, and I know there are, because a few of them, every once in a while, they have to drop a little comment. I don't focus on them. I focus on you. My goal is to see you become successful. My goal is to see you get closer to your career goals so that you'll be financially well, that you're going to have a great retirement, that you're going to have a healthy lifestyle to provide for you and your family. So take these ideas that I put on these videos and put them to practice, right? There is no excuse not to take California Community College courses when those courses are free when you apply as a new student to a California Community Colleges. There's 115 of them, right? So what is your excuse? I mean, it's like you have the time, you have the need, you have goals. Start putting these things into place, right? And I don't want to get into a whole rampage about, what are you waiting for type of thing, but you know what I'm saying, right? I said earlier in the video, they used to cost $7 a unit. Then they went up to $48 a unit, and now they're free. Free. Best things in life are free. So take this opportunity. If you haven't already, apply to a local community college, right? Sit down in front of the mirror. Think about what I told you. Who were your role models? Who were your heroes, right? And what was your takeaway from these people? How did they shape you? What ideas did they instill into your mind? My parents instilled a good work ethic into me, and you should have that good work ethic as well, right? Don't be distracted by all the things that are happening in society. Instead, you need to be working on your future goals, on your future dreams, so that one day you're coming to a place like this, taking courses, so that one day you're getting your college diploma, so one day you get that job, your dream job that you've been looking for, and get that promotion and be successful and great retirement, etc., etc. All right? So I've said enough, and you know I have your best interest in mind, so please take note of what I'm telling you. I love you guys. I hope that you're paying close attention to what I'm telling you, and reach out with any questions or concerns or comments. I appreciate all of them. Please stay safe, wear your mask, social distance, right? Minimize your time indoors with people who have not been quarantined, and hopefully one of these days we'll have a vaccine for this virus. And all the best to you guys. Thank you for listening.